Through majestic forests, alpine valleys and crystal-clear lakes, following the trails of wild animals, in search of rare birds, in places where no man had set a foot before. Precious, magnificent nature, in all its diversity and grandeur, in the documentary series Kazakhstan's Wildlife Sanctuaries. Our film crew is on the road again. Our way lies to one of the most beautiful places of the northern Tian Shan, the Kolsai Lakes. These alpine lakes, located in the national park, are beloved vacation spots for many citizens. Usually visitors hike here in summer, and though the spring had just arrived, we would love to explore what are those things to be seen here at this time of the year. Apart from 3 Kolsai lakes, the national park has another beautiful lake, Kayndi. Looking at the map, it seems like it's not a long way from the city of Almaty, just about 290 kilometers. Several forums discussing Kolsai lakes suggest that the journey takes 3 to 4 hours. In fact, the road passes through numerous villages where speed limit is at 40 kilometers per hour. Therefore, despite us leaving early, the journey took almost 6 hours. The road to the Jalanash village was good, but we wouldn't consider the last 50 kilometers to be exemplary. The mountain road is replete with numerous serpentines and passes. Fresh layer of snow was yet another obstacle in driving faster. The last few dozens of kilometers, our road laid along the big and amazingly beautiful mountain river, Chilik. This is the largest river of the Trans-Ili Alatau, one of the largest left tributaries of the Ili River. It is 245 kilometers long, begins on southern slopes of the Trans-Ili Alatau at the confluence of the Yeshki-Karasu and Tushkanbay-Karasu rivers. In the upper reaches, the river is called Jangarik, and only in the middle reaches it becomes Chilik. This is a typical mountain river with a large number of tributaries, with a rapid current and a fairly steep fall. In the upper reaches of the river, the width of the channel is 6 meters. In the middle reaches, it extends to 15 meters. The greatest depth varies from 1.5 to 2 meters. Recently, the river became very popular as an extreme tourism sport. Fans of rafting, sports alloys of the 6th category of complexity, really enjoy it here. In summer, the water in the river is of whitish color due to a lot of impurities. In winter, it is crystal clear with beautiful emerald shade. We are heading to the Sati village. This is where the office of the national park is situated. The total area of the park is more than 161,000 hectares. This is one of the youngest national parks in Kazakhstan. This year, the park will turn 10. It was created to preserve the National Natural Reserve Fund, unique natural, historical and cultural complexes which have special ecological and scientific value. The main task of the National Nature Park is nature protection. We are not just preserving, but trying to increase the natural wealth for future generations. It takes a lot of efforts to achieve that. There are 126 state inspectors working in the national park at the moment. The national park conducts activities in ecological, recreational and scientific fields. The park calls in zoologists, botanists and other specialists to study the natural resources in greater depth. Employees of the national park participate in the UNDP's programs for conservation of biodiversity in Kazakhstan. 50% of our employees have higher education. We believe that in case we don't know something, we will learn it with the help of UNDP. We will do our best to protect nature. We have finally arrived to the first lake. There is a cafe, cottages and guest houses. Complete tourist infrastructure. There is a small cottage village on the high bank ready to greet tourists. Most of the houses are empty during winters. Therefore, there are no problems with accommodation. The cars are not allowed to get near the lake shore. What a pleasant surprise! There is electricity. A power line was brought here. Modern person is very dependent on electricity, even so far away from civilization. We need to charge our phones, devices for photo and television shooting, numerous batteries. Encyclopedia helped us to learn that the Kolsai caldera system consists of 3 lakes and located in the Kungela ridge of the northern Tian Shan. Flora of the national park has more than 700 species. Red-listed plants grow in these areas. Rare Stipa kungeica feather grass, Adonis chrysosalphus and Adonis tianshanica, Erysimum perovskianum, the famous shrank spruce and many more. The animal world is also rich and diverse.
Kolsai көлдерінде қазіргі таңда сүтқоректілердің 50 түрлі мекендесе, оның ішінде қызыл кітапқа енген қар барысы.
Currently, more than 50 species inhabit the national park. Among them, snow leopards, Tian Shan brown bears, Tian Shan argali, Turkestan lynx, all red-listed.
Екінші жағы 705 түрлі Kolsaiда өсімдіктер дүниесі бар.
They conduct a systematic registry of all animals 2 times a year. According to park staff's observations, the number of wild inhabitants of the park increases each year, especially hoofed animals, red deer, wild boars, roe deer, mountain goats. Moreover, they've installed 20 camera traps throughout the national park, near the Kandi Lake, in Kolsai and Sholak-Aral gorges. These cameras assist in revealing the secret life of wild animals and birds, and sometimes even finding something unexpected.
Это было для нас открытием большим.
This was a great discovery for us. It was always believed that snow leopards do not live in Kolsai Caldera National Park. Since 2014, with the help of these camera traps, we've seen 13 snow leopards.
13 снежных барсов.
We think that there are more of them, since there are many unexplored places where a snow leopard can possibly live. Kolsai lakes are typical barrier mountain lakes. Apparently, long time ago, after strong earthquake, the lower part of the valley was blocked by a sliding mountain. A natural dam was formed. This is how most of Tian Shan lakes were formed, for example, Isik and Big Almaty Lake. The most recent example is the Lake Kandi. You can still see the flooded tree trunks. We admire the beautiful blue lakes surrounded by mountain slopes. The first lake is in an altitude of 1,818 meters above sea level. It is 1 kilometer long, 400 meters wide and 80 meters deep. The second, the most beautiful lake, is 2,252 meters above sea level. It is smaller than the first and shallower. It is 50 meters deep. The third, or Upper Kolsai, the smallest of 3, is located at the altitude of 2,850 meters. Summer is the busiest time. Many visitors come to our picturesque places. There are foreign tourists as well. There are 3 beautiful lakes here, Upper, Middle and Lower Kolsai. Every year they welcome 13 to 14,000 tourists. You may go to the second and third lake by foot. Their hiking path is quite good, but we suggest to go horseback. The distance between the lakes is just over 8 kilometers. But when you walk, it seems more, since it's an uphill trek. The difference in altitude between lakes is about 400 meters. There are recreational areas near the second lake. You can put up tents here and go to the smallest third lake with few things to carry. The lake is located between the alpine meadows. The difference in altitude between the second and third lakes is 600 meters. Tourists visiting the Kolsai lakes are usually warned that they are in the border zone. Therefore, it is necessary to have an identity card of a citizen of Kazakhstan. Foreign tourists are required to have a border zone pass, especially when visiting the third lake, which is literally one step from the border. Previously, there was a very popular trail to Chilik. Tourists came from all over the Soviet Union, rested on Kolsai, after that went further to Chilik. It seems that over time this popular route will resume its work. It is important to develop comfortable infrastructure in order to attract visitors, creating conditions for visiting tourists. At the moment, there are 5 tourist destinations on Kolsai. What are they meant for? Firstly, so that tourists have an opportunity to get acquainted with the unique nature of these places. We were taking pictures of first flowers in the valley, though it is still a winter. At night, the temperature dropped to -15 degrees. The lake is covered with thick ice. According to the ranger, the ice thickness is 30 to 40 centimeters. The ice breaks in April. We walk along the surface of the lake as if on an airfield. The ranger points at traces of animals. In winter, many ungulates, for example argali, ibex, roe deer, are forced to descend into the valleys due to deep snow. In addition to the cascade of the Kolsai lakes, there is a very unusual Kaindi lake. A large and beautiful birch grove appears in the gorge in front of the lake. Therefore, the lake got such a beautiful name. The place is certainly unusual for the fact that these birches are not local, but planted by people. These are typical birches from the north of our country. The local types are different. By the way, at the confluence of a small river flowing from the lake and the Chilik river, botanists discovered a very rare species of local birch. The grove is unusual, and the lake is even more so. From the literature, it is known that Kaindi Lake was formed as a result of the strongest earthquake in early January 1911. The valley was blocked by a landslide, which blocked the river, forming a natural dam. The trees were flooded with water, and since then they stand, reminding of the past cataclysm. The water in the lake doesn't get warmer than 6 degrees Celsius, therefore the trees do not decompose. But there is a suggestion that water in these places also has some embalming properties. In any case, the third trees did not rot and did not fall, but remained standing in the middle of the newborn lake in the form of a palisade of bare trunks. In the late 1980s, after the mud flow, the area of the lake decreased. The evidence of this may be seen along the coastline. In 2010, nature played harsh again. A powerful mud flow of rocks and mud slid down to the lake. On its way, the mud flow absorbed stone screes, picked up giant boulders, and pulled out old fir trees with their roots. This mud flow broke the natural dam, and the lake began to wane. The water level fell by more than 2 meters. This is clearly visible on grey marks on the rocks and on the trunks of fir trees. The branches fell off from that part of the trunk which used to be under the water. The territory of the park is not limited to this very unusual lake and valley where it is located. There are a few more gorges which visitors have yet to discover. Beautiful and wild places. Indeed, no man has ever set a foot there. The management of the park is planning to explore them in the nearest future to build a cordon for the rangers. We are proud of our noble profession. This is our native land. And we will do everything to preserve this pristine beauty.
Осы көркейтуге, дамытуға атсалысамыз.
We are saying our goodbyes to amazing places with cleanest mountain air and pure mountain waters and returning back home, full of impressions from the beautiful place called Kolsai Lakes.